street. But let's dive in more about what are we actually building? What's everything that we're going to do? So on the slide here, this is a full list of the project components that we'll be building with this project. So we'll be doing sidewalk construction on the north side of 26th Avenue from Hawley to Kearney. We'll be doing a sidewalk on the west side of Kearney Street from 26th to 25th in that image that I just showed. South side of 25th Avenue from Jasmine to Kearney. North side of 23rd Avenue from Jasmine to Locust. South side of 23rd Avenue from Layden to Monaco, and then the east and west sides of Kearney Street between 25th and 23rd, and some very small little pockets that are there. We'll also, with this project, be updating the curb ramps. Anywhere that we're putting sidewalk, we have to make sure to build ADA compliant curb ramps. And then exciting piece of this project, we'll be building pedestrian refuge islands on both the east side and the west side of Kearney Street and 23rd Avenue at that intersection. I have an image of what that will look like here in a minute. And then we'll also be putting in a new streetlight pole at 23rd Avenue and Kearney Street. And this is merely just a light pole, not a traffic signal. So this is kind of a typical civil cross section of what we're trying to build. The standard design that we're following is constructing a 5-foot sidewalk, and then where possible, a 5-foot tree lawn, more or less the space here that is marked with an A. So just kind of a grassy space, more of a tree lawn space to separate from that curb to the sidewalk. Also, there may be some areas along this section of the project due to the grade or the steepness of the land where we might have to install a retaining wall too. But again, we'll get into way more of those details at the April 8th meeting. But also just want to reiterate, all of these improvements and construction are within public right-of-way and not on private property. So I know that this slide here is a little complex. This is showing a snapshot of what the civil design actually really looks like for designing sidewalks for this project. So just wanted to show this as an example of the process that we've been spending time on to get this project designed. We can see the here is that pedestrian refuge island. It's on the west side here of Kearney, but there will also be another one on the east side. There's a space in the middle that lets you stop if need be crossing the street. But again, it really helps kind of pinch down the lane, slow down traffic, create more visibility for pedestrians crossing, and gives you that space to do so in a little bit more safer manner. You can also see the curb ramps in this case, and then the sidewalk here separated from the curb on the back with that tree lawn space too. So with every project, there are some trade-offs. This one, we've had close coordination with many of our city agencies, including forestry. We've had a lot of site visits. We've worked a lot with forestry to minimize as much as we can as far as tree or landscape removal. Fortunately, with our partnership, this project, we're only going to be removing 5 trees, 12 shrub bushes, and then 7 shrub trees, mostly all clumped together on 23rd from Jasmine to Locust. So this is just kind of a snapshot showing all the segments that we'll be building, those sidewalks that I talked about earlier, kind of what those landscaping impacts would be. But we also, forestry wanted to make sure that we share that there's a program that's offered to residents that you can apply for installation of a free street tree within the public right-of-way. And you can do that by following this link here and coordinate with forestry if you would like that or not. So then again, as I touched earlier, the anticipated timeline for construction, we are shooting for fall of this year. But in order, before we start building the sidewalks and the ramps, we have to coordinate our tree removals and our utility coordination with Excel, Verizon, and any other external utilities first, which we've been in close contact with to coordinate for the project. And then on this slide, just wanted to kind of show what we've done so far as communications. I was lucky to speak with the board reps Burdett and Bowman in November with a very similar presentation deck as today. lucky that they invited me back to be able to speak with the greater board today. Been working with Kevin Burdett a lot to work on an article that will be going out in March about this project. Again, hosting that virtual public meeting on April 8th, and then working with our team too to flyer residents as we get closer to the construction to keep everyone in the loop. We'll have it on the city website and on the Greater Park Hill website as well. And then this slide here just has that information again about the virtual public meeting details, which will be on a Zoom, via Zoom, similar to this platform today, April 8th at 6:30. And then again, just wanted to provide my contact information here, as well as our build partner with our department who's helping oversee the construction too. So I know if there are questions, I'm happy to let board members bring those up to me and I can answer whatever, but I want to respect the time on your agenda too. Well, thanks for having me again.
Brendan, thank you so much. And if there are questions, if you could put them in the chat, or if somebody has something urgent, Lana, we could always unmute.
Yeah, that's right. Feel free to use the participants tab at the bottom and raise your hand. We can definitely unmute you to ask any questions or drop them in the chat. Okay, we do have a chat question from Amy. Wondering if there was any initiative to go ahead and replace some of the removed trees, maybe in the tree line.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, just kind of wrapping my head around that question. Just wondered if there was any initiative to go ahead and replace some of the removed trees.
I think maybe I didn't understand, but I think you were going to have some grassy areas.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And I was just wondering, could we just go ahead and put some trees there without having to have people ask for them?
Yeah, I think I can definitely bring that up to our forestry partner. I think that could be a really great asset. So I'm sure that they'll want to see some of that go back too. So, yeah.
I'll say we have a board member looking into that actual question about getting things removed, or again, sorry, things replaced that have been removed. I know some have to be removed simply because they're in the way, and then some be removed because they're sort of right on the outskirts there. And we have a board member looking into having the city replace them without having people ask. So it's still to be determined, still pending, but Amy, your question is spot on and something we've asked as well.
And there's another question in there, Brendan. What is a shrub tree? Are there are a number which will be removed? Question, I guess.
Yeah, so they're more or less an overgrown bush. They're more of a weed root material. It's really not like a tree. It's more of like an overgrown bush. I can pull up a picture too if you'd like. If there is another question, I can answer in the meantime, but let me see if I can pull one up for you. And they're all kind of clumped together. So I know that on the slide it said that there were, multiple of them, but again, they're all kind of more or less clumped together. So forestry kind of considers it one kind of unit, but I thought it was important to kind of break it out. But yeah, let me pull up an image for you really quick. Yeah, once I get it, I can clip it and I'll throw it in the chat.
That sounds good.
And Brendan, there's another question. Will full vehicular access be maintained at the intersection of Kearney and 23rd?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, gang, I think that's all the questions. If not, please speak now. Otherwise, I do see Jackie's here from the Denver Museum of Nature and Science to talk about nature play and the Deborah Waterway project. So Jackie, if you're ready, go ahead.
Thank you,
All right,
everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Brendan.
Thank you, Brenda.
Sorry, hang on one second. Sorry. Before you start, Jackie, just a quick second.
Yeah.
I think this is this that you, Dana?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, it's coming up as Brendan, so I was confused about your message, but
I think I entered through his invite, so I'm crashing your party. I'm sorry.
gotcha. That's why I couldn't find you on the participant list. Dana just wants to mention quickly a couple of other Park Hill projects before they wrap up.
Yeah, sorry to spring that on you. I just have a really quick announcement of other upcoming projects in Park Hill that I just thought I'd share with you guys. It looks like I can just share my screen.
You can.
All right. Let me see if I can. Are you seeing the whole thing or just my little share screen?
It's your format for your presentation, so it's not in the full screen yet.
Does that look better?
No, what we're seeing is there you go. There it is.
Great. So I just wanted to very quickly let you guys know that we have some other bikeway projects coming to North Park Hill. These are projects that are coordinated with repaving each year. And since that list of what's repaved doesn't get finalized till the end of the previous year, these move on a really quick timeline. So I'm trying to get this information out as much as possible. We have a public meeting coming, but just so that you guys can get the word out, you're much better at letting everyone know that things are coming better than I am. So you can see these gray dotted outlines of the 3 bikeway projects that we are considering moving forward. So 35th Avenue, essentially between Dahlia Street and Quebec. Dahlia Street itself between around 34th and up to 39th. And it does a little sort of kitty corner around where the street does not currently go through. And then on Holly Street as well, connecting up from 35th all the way up towards East Stapleton. So these are going to be bike lanes, primarily your conventional bike lanes with some options to change things up. So we're just getting started with outreach, but like I said, it's a pretty quick turnaround time. We'll have a public meeting on February 24th, and we'll be sending out flyers through you and to council and other folks. But I just wanted to give that little heads up to let you guys know that these are coming, and we would love to have people there to share their thoughts about bike mobility and other safety and mobility issues that they'd like to share. So thank you for letting me pounce in with this little information.
Thanks, Dana.
Okay, Jackie, if you're ready to go.
Sure, I can go ahead and share my screen. Okay. All righty. There we are. Okay, can you all see my screen and hear me okay? I'm going to take that as a yes.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
Great. Sounds good. So my name is Jacqueline Altruder. I am here on behalf of the Denver Museum of Nature and Science and Denver Parks and Recreation. I see Mallory is on the line from Denver Parks and Recreation. And I'm the Director of Volunteers at the museum. I'm also the lead for an initiative called Nearby Nature. And the intention of the initiative is to celebrate and amplify the museum's connections with the nearby nature of City Park. And one of the projects that we're working on is a partnership project with Denver Parks and Recreation, and it's the Nature Play and Deborah Waterway project. And this project has originated from the City Park Master Plan update. And the idea and the intent of the project is to create accessible spaces for all people in the southeast corner of City Park. So I'll show you exactly where we're talking about here. It's this area right here is underway on design, and the Deborah Waterway, the historic Deborah Waterway flows through this area. Water has not been in the Deborah Waterway for many, many years. And this project will restore the historic Deborah Waterway as part of the project. I'm here tonight because we're going to ask you for some feedback. You don't have to give us feedback tonight, but I'm going to tell you how you can give us feedback. We're in the process of getting feedback on the design for some specific pieces of it. So here are the community-driven design principles that came out of previous community engagement that started. I think the community engagement for this particular specific project started in 2016 with the City Park Master Plan update. The museum, after the City Park Master Plan update, called for natural play experiences in this area. The museum reached out to Denver Parks and Recreation to let them know of our interest in partnering on the project. And we entered a formal partnership in 2018. Some additional design principles on top of what you're seeing here include innovation and environmental stewardship. And those are things that we've brought to the table. We have heard that mirrored in community feedback, but those are just really important key drivers for the project. And the other key driver, of course, is keeping the community's interests at the heart of the project, because this is the People's Park and we're spending a lot of money. And if it's not something people like, we're not really clear on why we would do it. So I hope it's something that y'all like, and I need to know what you like so that we do it right. There will be, I want to say, I think it's called out in here, but I want to say it out loud so that everyone hears me. There will be a focus on conserving and preserving the current tree canopy, and we'll also be exploring additional opportunities to create and add more shade. So this is the project timeline where that little star there's been community engagement prior to the City Park Master Plan. I only noted here community engagement that started specific to the design of this project. In 2018, we did a lot of park user intercepts, a lot of just outreach to people as they were walking through the park and playing in this area of the park. And then in 2019, we did some further community outreach, having pop-ups in the park and some open houses and other community events. And then in 2020, we started to really think about what it meant to design this space. And we contracted with a design firm in 2020. And here we are working on design and coming to you to ask for some feedback on the preliminary concept design. Oh, I guess I do want to say this. We'll also come back out one more time after we have a concept design to ask you if we heard you and what you were saying, so that you can see that design and give us some refining feedback. So that will be in late March or early April. So the restoration, like I said, and the reactivation of the Deborah Waterway is a key piece of this project. And that came to the table just in 2019 when we were asking people to create designs of the space for us with, we had clay and we had people coming to community open houses, and we were doing those park user intercepts, and people told us that water was a really key fundamental aspect to this project. So that's when we looped in the restoration of the historic Deborah Waterway. What you're seeing here is just a concept sketch. I cannot promise you there will be a bridge. We will have to go through and see what the budget holds for us. But this is a concept sketch of the Deborah Box Canyon with a bridge spanning across the canyon with water running down through it. I mentioned that innovation and environmental stewardship were key drivers for us, and we wanted to restore water to the waterway in a way that does not require chemical treatment of the water, so that the water is really ecologically sound. From the museum and parks perspective, if we're creating a natural space, we want it to be a natural ecosystem that is a healthy ecosystem for plants and animals alike. And part of that is creating some sort of non-chemical filtration system. So what you're seeing here is a diagram of the biofiltration wetland system that we will embed throughout the water flow to ensure that the water is treated through a biofiltration wetland as opposed to a chemical filtration system. So this is another sketch of a possibility of some natural play experiences embedded and immersed within the natural landscape. The natural landscape will be reflective of the 8 ecosystems of Colorado, and the natural experiences will be embedded throughout, along with gathering spaces, areas for seating, all of the pathways that we're working throughout the space will be designed without concrete. So it will not be a concrete pathway, but they will be accessible. So they'll all be ADA accessible, but not using concrete, so other landforms. And this is the ask. I'm hoping that you will give us some feedback on the play features in the space, the types of water experiences that you would hope to have in the space, and the gathering spaces you would hope to see in the space. The things I'm just really transparent about this because I think it's important to say what we're getting feedback on and what we're not. What we're not getting, what is not going to shape the design in any different way is feedback on, like, say, the biofiltration system, any of the engineering aspects of it, the infrastructure to make sure that we have safe water, things like that are the things that we tried to figure out in the background so that we could give it over to the community to decide on what the look and feel of the space is and what it feels like to be experiencing the space. So this is how you can give feedback. You can go to our website at dmns.org/natureplay. We have creative kits that we're sending out. We're mailing them via USPS out to people and who request them. We're asking that people request them by Sunday, February 7th, because we want to get the kits out to people in time to collect the feedback. All of the feedback we need to have in-house by February 15th. And the kit is designed so that people of all ages and abilities can give us feedback in a different way, other than just taking an online survey. However, we do have an online survey. We do have a presentation that explains more about the project. And we have an open house coming up. We just had one earlier this week with City Park Friends and Neighbors. And we have an open house coming up on February 10th. That's next Wednesday with City Park Alliance. And it's a 1.5-hour meeting. So we can really dive a little deeper, answer a lot more questions. And that'll be a virtual Zoom open house similar to this format, but a lot more Q&A time. So thank you for letting me come to your meeting. I really appreciate your time. I hope that you are all able to give us some really good feedback because we definitely want to make it what people want it to be.
Jackie, thanks so much. There is one question. It says, is it too late to get the creative design lit?
No, you can get that kit. If you go, I'll put the link directly in the chat and you can just go to that link. So I'll do that in a minute.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. In
Yeah. I see somebody waving. Somebody that wants to do a kit. That's great.
We actually are. We are doing a
what do you
kit because we
think?
participated like several, 18 months ago. We're
Thank you,
still doing it.
friends.
We did a tour.
Great. Great. Thank you.
I know, Jacqueline, I was going to say, I think you guys are doing a great job. I was part of City Park Alliance for a long time when everything was starting. I love what you're doing now. So, but it's not too late to get one of the creative kits.
No, not at all. Though I would not mention it if it was too late. It is not too late. You have
When
until
are they due
Sunday.
back? When are they due back?
So it's, I'm going to show you what it is. I'm just going to pop over here and show you what it is so that you understand. It's going to come in the mail and it's similar. Sorry, my daughter is really excited about it. So it has instructions. It has this on one side, and then it has all of these. These are the same images you'll find on the survey, but it gives an accessible way for people who don't want to take the survey to cut out the images they want and then make their own design. And then you can color it and paint it and add things to it. And they are due back via a photo. All we're asking for is a photo. So all the way, like, you can create the whole thing and get to keep it, and then just send us a photo of what you designed.
There's one other request. Can you add the link in the chat?
Yes, I will definitely add the link in the chat. I'm not very good at multitasking.
No,
So I'll do it as soon as I'm done talking.
no worries. Perfect.
Thank you.
Are there other questions, comments?
I have a comment. I just wanted to thank Jackie, and I would thank Peggy Day of the museum, who is retired in the middle of this process, for conducting a community engagement process that has been really genuine and transparent and honest. And what I love is that what I saw on those boards, including my own comments, are coming to fruition in the plan. So this was not a push campaign, this was a listening campaign. And I thought it was too good to be true, but then I see what you've done. And obviously I'm just such a big cheerleader for that. And the news that there will be water flowing in the DeBoer Canyon again has been a dream of the community for a lot of years. And we thought it was impossible. And you folks pushed it and you made it happen. So I'm just so grateful. Thank you much.
Thank you so much. And I was clapping for Peggy. She's my hero. I love her.
Jackie, there's a comment that says, I'll email as well, but I think shade is a great consideration for play areas. Another question, is the lily pond included?
So the lily pond, I'm glad you brought that up. The lily pond is it cannot be, it could be, I'm not going to say it can't be. It will not be restored as a water holding lily pond as part of this project. To create a system where the water could be held in the lily pond would be outrageously expensive. I'm just going to put it that way. The bottom of the lily pond is cracked, which is why the Deborah Waterway was turned off in the first place. There's some big infrastructural issues with the lily pond, and if they repaired it, there's a chance the stonework would not survive the repair. And what the idea is around the lily pond is to fill it a little bit more with pathways, keep the stonework, and then plant the stonework as pollinator gardens. So they're colorful gardens inside the stonework. And you can see the imagery for the lily pond if you go onto the website, and I think Valerie dropped the website link on there, and you take the survey. There will be an image of the lily pond in that survey.
Great. And I'm assuming this is a related question, but now may not be relevant. Will the water be recycled water?
It will be recycled through the system, and it will get cleaner and cleaner as it goes through the system. Is that the question? Or where is the water coming from? Is that the question?
Louis, you asked the question. Do you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, and then Bern, I'll get to your question.
Are you asking if it comes from the purple pipe?
Hello.
Is that... Hi.
Am I unmuted?
Yep.
You are.
The origin of the water, because I know a lot of places in City Park, they've been having recycled water. Is this going to be recycled water going in?
This is the water. We are actually drawing up water from Farrell Lake, and that water is straight from Denver Ditch, which is the water that comes, the Denver Ditch comes down through Wash Park. So that's the water that's open in Wash Park through that channel. And then it flows into Little Lake and Farrell Lake, and we will be drawing up the water from either Little Lake or Farrell Lake to pull up to the top of the system and then run through and clean that water as it goes through the system through the biofiltration. Did that answer your question? Any other questions? I know I want to be respectful.
There is, Jackie, there's one more. It is, who is the landscape architecture firm that is designing it?
The landscape architecture, there is a whole group. It includes a natural place specialist, Bean and Stock natural place specialist, Biohabitats is at the table, Pinion is at the table, AE is at the table, DIG is at the table. So that's the landscape architect is DIG. And I feel like I'm forgetting some partners, and I apologize to my partners. But yes.
Okay, and I just want to remind everybody that links are in the chat between the nature play, the kit, and there's one other thing, but go to the chat if you're looking to find the links for there. Those are there. If there, I don't see any other questions. If there are, go ahead and raise your hand now. Okay. Jackie, really appreciate you coming and talking to us about that. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And Andy, are you here?
Oh, we've got, I think, one other thing before that.
Oh, Denver District Attorney's Office. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I believe Deputy DA Tim Hoffman is going to be giving that presentation, which I didn't initially have on the schedule, but I'm not sure that I see him on the participant list. So, Mr. Hoffman, are you here? We might need to come back to it anyhow, Tracy.
Okay.
I do see that Andy Lyde is on the meetings for the next items.
Yes.
So we can swap those.
Okay, perfect.
Wonderful. Let me share my screen. Okay. Everybody see that?
Yes.
Great. So thank you so much for hosting me this evening. My name is Andy Lyde, and I am the executive director of a local nonprofit called Open Up. So as residents of Denver, you are well aware of the affordable housing crisis in Colorado. In short, there's a much greater need for affordable housing than there are traditional units available. The two main pieces of the affordable housing puzzle are income and the cost of housing. In 2018, there was a deficit of over 90,000 available and affordable units in the Denver metro area. Interestingly, though, there are at least 442,000 unused livable spaces in Denver homes alone. These livable spaces would be empty bedrooms, finished basements, ADU units, etc. So how will low-income renters access this existing space? So the big idea of Open Up is to match low-income adults pursuing self-sufficiency through career development programs with homeowners, renters, and property owners who rent their unused livable space at an affordable rate. In doing this, more renters are able to access affordable space, which frees up money for other expenses. It allows homeowners to earn income by sharing unused space, and it increases the thriving in a community. Neighbors are helping neighbors, there's less financial strain, and money stays in the community. As you can see by these stats gathered from the City and County of Denver's housing plan and the National Low Income Housing Coalition, the need in Denver for affordable housing is great. Over 25,000 households in Denver are spending too much on housing, and too much is defined as more than 30% of your household income. How does it work with Open Up? Well, we receive our clients as referrals from other community organizations, mostly career development organizations. We go through an extensive application and interview process and conduct a nationwide background check. When a client is accepted into our program, we approach a homeowner with available space and present the opportunity to make a housing match. If the homeowner is willing, we facilitate a match meeting so each party can meet and talk. Afterwards, we follow up with each party separately to see if they want to move forward. And if they don't, we try a new match combination. And if they do want to move forward, we facilitate that process for them and setting up a month-to-month lease. Our clients are using their own money to pay rent, and Open Up does not charge them or the homeowner for the service we provide. We then continue supporting our clients and helping them reach their housing goals and are, of course, available to support the homeowner if any issues arise. The average stay for one client in a home is 6 months. And this amount of time gives our clients the space physically, emotionally, financially to make progress on their housing goals. Since 2017, December of 2017, we have made 51 matches. And our goal for this year is to make 44 new matches to serve our community. Now, you've already met me. Our other key team members, our case manager, Dixie. She is the one working directly with our clients on setting and achieving goals towards self-sufficiency. And as I mentioned, we work with other community organizations in the Denver area. Here's a partial list of some of the organizations we partner with to serve our neighbors. If you were interested in renting out space in your home, you could post on Craigslist and take your chances. Or you could work with Open Up and have fully vetted potential tenants presented to you based on your needs and preferences, and who then receive ongoing support from respected community organizations. Every step of our process is opt-in for everyone involved. You're never stuck. If this is something that interests you, here are some next steps for you to take. You can go to our website and learn more about us. You can contact me directly to get your questions answered. If you're already sold on the idea, you can fill out the application on our website. And if you're not quite ready to sign up and want to keep us in mind, you can sign up for our newsletter on the website too. Open Up is a community of mold breakers, and we're no longer interested in leaving problems for someone else to solve. For us, the housing crisis will be solved with existing resources. While home sharing feels like innovation, we've gotten here by circling around old fires. And we know that there's nothing more ancient than hospitality to our neighbors. So I will add my contact information in the chat for you to refer to again. And if you have time for questions, I'm happy to stay and answer any questions you have.
Yeah, Andy, we do have time for questions, and what a fabulous program. One quick question I have, you mentioned since 2017, 51 matches. Have all those 51 moved on to their own housing?
Yes, so 8 of those are still currently in a match. And so the others have moved on to their own housing. And then there's what we'd call our success rate would be somebody moving to housing that's equal or better than they were in using their own resources.
Okay.
And we're at a 77% success rate for that.
Okay, and then of the people who allow a match to come into their home, or have they been repeat people participating in the program?
Yeah, we do have some repeat people. We've had a model where we've also had quite a few properties, people with investment properties or ADUs. And so we're focusing a lot more on the home share, and some of our original people that were in the home share, so in your home with you, they are signing up again for more participants, more of our clients.
Great, thank you. Are there other questions? You know, Amy Harris, one of our board members, Andy, brought up a good point. I don't know if you've spoken at the Northeast Park Hill Coalition meetings, but they would benefit from hearing this as well.
No, I haven't. I'm sorry, that was the North.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. If anybody knows when those meetings are, can you speak up and let Andy know so he can?
They're the
Thursday night.
second Thursday of the month. So the week after ours. I can drop the contact information to you privately in the chat, Andy.
That'd be great. Thank you.
There's another question. How does your program mesh with current zoning and the group living amendment?
Yeah, so under the current Denver code, 2 unrelated adults can live together. So the vote on Monday, I'm sure you guys have been following that, would allow, if passed, would allow up to 5 unrelated adults to live together in the same dwelling. I was on another neighborhood organization meeting the other night, and Councilwoman Sandoval was on there. And it looks like it will pass. And she mentioned some of the research that the city had done. Other cities in the area like Aurora and Arvada already have 5 or more people allowed in unrelated persons. And the average when they look at people who actually do it is between 2 and 3. So it doesn't look like all of a sudden there's 5 people living in a house all over the place. I know that's been a concern for some people, but it looks like the amendment will pass on Monday.
Great. Amy, was that a question you wanted asked? So I'll just go ahead and ask it. So she's saying that she and her partner, they are not married. If they wouldn't be, they could not have a roommate, correct, under the current code?
I believe that's correct under the current code. Until Monday.
Okay. If there's other questions, please put them in the chat or raise your hand. But I greatly appreciate, Andy, you coming and talking to the board about this in the community. It's a great program. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Lana, anything from the Denver?
I don't have any messages from them. I guess I'll ask one more time. Is anybody from the DA's office on the call? We were expecting Tim Hoffman, I believe, but maybe someone else is here. Give it a second. Maybe he just got tied up with something.
Okay. If not,
I'm not seeing anything. So if that's the case, then we're back to our agenda here.
Yep, I think we're on the open floor, community comments or any other announcements. Any updates? Yeah, Amy, go ahead.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. I just wanted to give some feedback on how the Northeast Park Hill Snow Patrol went. We had our inaugural snow event. What was that, last week or the week before? I don't even know. But anyway, we had some volunteers show up, which was so great. One of them was my next door neighbor who came over and asked me to borrow a snow shovel. And I said, yeah, of course you can, but it'd be really great if you could also just shovel a few extra blocks. And he was totally into it. So I just wanted to recognize some of the volunteers who showed up. That was very awesome of them to do some great work. And it was Mitch DeVito is my neighbor, if anybody knows him, and Leah Hartman and John Gavel. So thanks to those folks who were able to show up. And I just wanted to say, I know we're having a very mild winter, which is lovely in a lot of ways, but I'm sure it's going to be one of those years where we end up getting some wild snowstorm in like April or May. So if you'd like to sign up for the Snow Patrol, I'm just going to put this in the chat here. You can just sign up on a Google Sheet. And when I see that some weather is happening, I'll reach out to you and see if I can hook you up with a shovel and some ice melt.
Amy,
that's it.
Amy, did you use your Google Sheet from the last set of people who signed up? You did.
I did. Yeah. So this is a repeat, but I just want to continue to kind of build because I've got 10 brand new shiny snow shovels that would love to be introduced to some snow around the neighborhood. And it is deeply satisfying to see your progress, especially because that initial shovel, I know snow usually melts really fast in Colorado, but for some of the north facing streets, especially along 35th Avenue, along MLK, along Bruce Randolph, if you don't initially shovel those, it just sticks around for ages. And at once it turns into ice, I mean, you're done for. So seeing it being initially shoveled and how much that made a huge difference was great, because those are major thoroughfares for bus routes and for getting to the corner store and, you know, Walgreens and places like that are on our end of the neighborhood. So that's why I'm doing the pitch. So anyone who's interested, I'll take you.
It's a great initiative, Amy, and thanks for putting this together. Really terrific. Thank you.
I have an announcement. I put it in the chat that there's some interest expressed about participating in an Adopt a Flower Bed program. And Adam Smith, who is the field superintendent of the East District of Denver Parks and Recreation, is excited about the idea, wants to discuss it with any groups who want to adopt a flower bed in City Park or be part of it. And so right now it's at the stage of gauging interest if anybody wants to be involved in a Adopt a Flower Bed program. And I've put my email in the chat. You can contact me. It's mjflora@msn.com. Thank you.
Thanks, Maria.
I have one really just piggybacking on Maria, if that's okay.
Yeah.
A resident contacted me about, I I'm not exactly sure. They didn't like specify with a photograph, but they just said that they felt like the entrance to Park Hill along 17th Avenue Parkway seemed really not like an entrance. And they were asking about having one of the perennial beds that the city's like transforming their annual beds to perennial beds, like in parkways. They wanted to find out if there was interest in the board in proposing something like that from from Denver Parks and Rec. So I don't know if that's a way to piggyback off of what Maria's doing, but to maybe make a flower bed. I'm not exactly sure because they didn't send pictures, but they just said that there was like a lot of garbage. I haven't, because I don't ever leave this room. I don't know what that looks like now, but they just said that it looked garbagey. And who's saying that?
Is this off of 17th in Colorado, Blair?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
So they said that they thought that maybe because it was like the entrance, and I guess that's their entrance. My entrance is not 17th, but they felt like that maybe it could be, you know, beautified with one of those perennial beds. So I don't know if Denver Parks and Rec is making any new beds. I feel like because they're taking garbage cans away, that it's probably not a good time to propose this. But if there's interest in making beds or putting in bulbs or, you know, I just wish I had a better answer for this, these couple of neighbors than there's no money, because I feel like I say that to everybody. There's no money.
Well, I think there is a volunteer opportunity. I'm not sure that Denver Parks and Rec is going to be real happy about brand new flower beds because they have a lot of them already and they require a lot of work. But if you want to refer those folks either to me or to Georgia Garnsey of CP Fans, there is a move afoot to basically gauge volunteer interest in helping out with flower beds in city parks. So I think that could be coordinated really well.
Yeah, and it's not that far away, which I'm so glad that you brought this up, because I feel like in tandem it could actually work well, because it's just, you know, whatever that is, 30 feet away. And, you know, it would give an opportunity for gardeners who don't have a lot of time, you know, have plenty of time, I guess, to kind of branch out, or maybe neighbors or kids. I don't know, maybe it could be a school project. But the other thing I was thinking of it, and I didn't bring it up, is I don't know if they have sprinklers there.
It's on the parkway they do.
Yeah. Oh, they definitely do. Okay, I'm good. I'm glad that you said that because I wasn't sure. Thank you, Colette.
You're welcome.
Anyway, so I'm gonna point them to Maria and Georgia. Thank you.
And Lewis did add on a comment there that native plants would be a good idea.
Yeah, I think they're kind of looking for anything. And even up in Montbello, when they redid where this the sign is, they put in some grasses. I think it's just kind of anything to make it not look, I think people are just like dropping garbage out of their car. I mean, and maybe it's just a neighborhood cleanup thing.
Well,
I don't know.
And it's that, because I drive by it, I go back and forth from downtown that way.
Yeah.
It's just that red brick thing that says Park Hill, and it's kind of stark. Like it just, you know.
There's, yeah. So maybe there's an opportunity for something, community
well, if
building.
there's garbage there, we have a large collection of garbage pails and grabbers that are kind of in rotation. And I'm very interested in using those in all of the parks in Park Hill. That would include the Parkway, City of Axum Park, City Park, Ferguson Park. So if there's trash and it needs to be picked up, we have a crew, and they've even gotten some East High kids involved.
Oh, cool.
In going out and picking up trash. And in the last couple of months, they had a drive where they went out and they filled 9 buckets full of trash in City Park. And I've actively looked for trash in City Park and would have said that there isn't any, but there is. So if you see trash, let me know. And we'll get somebody out there to pick it up with their buckets and their orange buckets and their grabbers.
And Maria, is that some type of program that people could also volunteer for? Because I mean, it could be a great thing even internally with our group. I know some of the streets through Park Hill are looking not so nice anymore because I'm finding more and more trash along where we are. And I'm just wondering if we couldn't start connecting people more on this.
Well, I bet we could. The buckets and the grabbers that we have are actually issued by Denver Parks and Recreation for volunteer efforts in the park, but I bet they wouldn't be too jealous if we used them in the neighborhood.
Okay, perfect, great.
Let me know where the trash is. And we've got a group of people who are pretty turned on by going out and picking it up. So just let me know where, and I'll see if I can't get somebody out there.
That's great, Maria, thank you.
Jackie had her hand raised as well, I believe, and wanted to speak.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say this is really exciting. I think a lot of y'all know that I do several things with the Martin Luther King Moraid Commission. And one thing that is happening is my Get to Cleaning Remember in Memphis, which has been around for like 15 years. It's to honor Dr. King. Remember, he went back with the sanitation workers back to Memphis, and then that's where he was shot and killed. But anyway, to have a peaceful demonstration. Anyway, the Get to Clean and Remember Memphis, we're doing a whole thing on our site where we're going to connect people up with areas of town. And honestly, guys, Tracy's not wrong. It's not just our area. During this shutdown, I ride my bike everywhere. It is the trashiest I have ever seen the city. And it is so bad. And so I just tonight got off my meeting, and I was just saying, I'm going to get moving on this, and I'm going to make you, Mark, you're my new favorite person in Park Hill. Maria, I'm serious. I'm going to put you down, because I was going to say, so is this the GPHC volunteer thing? What do you call it? So we'll connect, and you can tell me what that is, and then we'll connect up.
It started with CP Fan.
Okay. Oh, good.
We got buckets, and we've got CP Fan has a board member, Kelly, whose last name I can't remember. Maybe somebody else can help me.
Crosby.
Who?
Kelly Crosby.
Kelly Crosby. That's right.
Yes.
Who from time to time just has a lot of energy and access to East High students. So I think if we coordinate, we can put those buckets to work.
Yes, I agree.
Stephanie, I'm raising my hand. Sorry.
Yep, go ahead.
Stephanie had asked in the chat, and then I don't see it now, but if there was any update on anything going on with Johnson and Wales, if anybody knows anything.
Lisa, I know you and I were communicating about this week. I haven't seen anything.
I've heard that DHA is looking into it.
Who's DHA?
Denver Housing Authority. So that's the only thing that I've heard, that they've commissioned a firm to look into it.
Okay. I have not seen or heard anything, so I was looking for it this week.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet, but I did hear that they're going to commission a firm to do a study on it.
Okay. Other comments, community updates? If not, we'll move on to approval of the minutes. Lana, I think we have a quorum, correct?
We do have a quorum, but we don't have the minutes, I don't believe. So
We'll then postpone them to next month. Any open floor board issues that
It's not a board issue, but my name's Kifongua Maat, and I'm one of the an event coordinator around the city. And one of my events that I work on is the Colfax Marathon. And so I wanted to let you guys know that we have a new date for this year. Usually it's in May, but since we have had it pushed back, it's going to be October 17th. So as we get closer, I'll keep you guys up on happenings and so forth. And I haven't had an opportunity to really chat with you guys to see how well of a job we're doing in terms of making sure that our routes through, that come through the park through the zoo and down Montview and down 17th, and just making sure that we're doing a good job of leaving a zero footprint as we do ours. And I know we didn't get a chance to do it last year, but in years previous, have we been doing a satisfactory job for you guys?
Yeah, thank you for being here and bringing that up. I think you've done a terrific job. We get excited for it every year. When it was going straight down Colfax, we used to go watch there, and up on 17th. No, I've not noticed any problems. I think it's been fantastic.
We have, where I am in Park Hill, I'm in like a pocket between Monaco to the south, Monaco to the west, Quebec to the east, Colfax to the south, 17th to the north. And for some reason, I don't know if it's the police support that you get, but they're not very clear as to how they block the streets off. So by the time people find their way either down Batavia or 16th, they're so that they just fly through the neighborhood. So we know every Sunday when that traffic is flying down the street, it's like, oh, it's one of the races. And it's not necessarily just that marathon. It happens to us a lot. But I've complained to the city about that they need to properly mark what streets are closed off, because you'll go down one because it's closed and then you'll hit another closed off street. So.
Yeah. And I know that's one of the things that we always kind of say, did you see that car go through? And then, then someone takes off after it, and does whatever. But yeah, if you could give me your info, I can, I'll definitely, or as we get closer, because this year we're actually going to change the half marathon route.
Okay.
Because that's the route that usually comes through Park Hill, is the half marathon route. And with that route in particular, that really gets the most runners. And so as we get closer, and as soon as I get the new route, I will make sure that I submit that so everyone can take a look at it. And then we can kind of navigate through that. And then I can give that to the race director and the executive director for the marathon. So I can definitely do that. How are you guys looking for 2021 events this year?
That's a great question.
Yes, say anybody?
Well, for the garden walk, we're still planning on doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be different, whereas we're doing like timed entrances and an entrance that's different than the exit. But right now we're trying ideas, talking to the volunteers, seeing what they'd be comfortable with.
We've got a couple of events that are going to be relatively easy to probably do this year with safety in mind, and some other ones that probably are not going to be feasible because there's just too many people in too close of a space. All of our events really are outside, which helps, but having people crammed together on the street for a parade, a little different than people walking around for the garden walk. So it's a bit of a coin toss still, but our goal is to have as many in-person events as possible while, doing it safely and following all the protocols, of course. But it's a moving target.
Hey, y'all, I was gonna interject here. In fact, that's the real reason I'm on tonight, is to kind of make sure that you knew that everybody's got my contact information, because I'm so in touch with all the vaccination situation going on. All across the board. It's all volunteers with my church, Park Hill United Methodist, which I'm unofficially representing tonight because I haven't got the official thing from my board. You know how that goes, these boards, Anyway, I'm teasing y'all. Anyway, so, but the vaccination situation, what I'm going to tell you is it is rapidly happening. And you can see where it's going to be. And I honestly, and I'm speaking both on as my professional, which is on the Chinese medicine, the prevention and early intervention side, as well as with all the conversations that we had with Denver Health and SCL and CU. I think we're going to be ready to go for outside vents. People are still going to mask, but the real issue is we're going to have herd immunity. Probably they're being, they're going to be negative on this, but I'm honestly, I think it's going to be May. I think we're going to be okay. We are doing so good here. I don't know if you're watching, these numbers are dropping. They're plummeting. It is so great. And so I just wanted to say, yay. You know, we may not be ready to do, I don't know how people are going to have people feel about people coming into their homes with a home tour in the you know, fall. That may be just too soon with people still kind of nervous. Right. But I think, but any outdoor stuff you're doing, I think you're going to be fine with. Yeah. So, and I'm ready to pace the half marathon again. I've been doing that for years. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what the issue that, one of the challenges is not knowing what May is going to hold for in this, you know, May, June, July. So those aren't, so everyone is pushing for the fall, which is going to cause a real, you know, it's going to be really interesting to see how, you know, every weekend in September is going to get full while everyone's trying to get Labor Day. And I know one of the events that hasn't said if they're coming back this year is Taste.
Oh, Taste of Colorado.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't affect you, but, you know, I don't know if the Park Hill Arts Fest is going on, because usually that's the same weekend as the marathon. So.
And I know Darren well. Okay, I don't think he doesn't plan that because of that. It just happened to have coincide. So I
don't know if he's. Yeah, I don't know if he's planning on doing his show or where he's going to push his back to, but.
Yeah. So anyway, and all this stuff, it's so great. Can I say that right now, that would be the only thing is I will type my phone number in here, my email. If you know anybody, you know, it's going to 65 Monday, you know, anybody, I can get them in touch with something that at least they're moving ahead. And everybody that I'm getting a hold of, everybody's getting their shots. So I'm really good. No, I'm kidding. Okay, there you go.
Thanks, Jackie.
If there are any other comments, if not, I think we're set here. All right. Well, still, if you haven't been vaccinated, please be safe. Continue to practice social distancing and wear your mask. So, all right. Good night. We'll see you guys next month.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Night.
Good night.